back again, I guess as they say, in the saddle for Clint, covering for Clint again, with Coach Bentley here. I want to first mention all of our sponsors. We've got UARM, University of Arkansas Rich Mountain, Mena Insurance, PT and those guys down there, Sterling Machinery, and we've got Union Bank, the four primary sponsors for this Coach's Show weekly, here with Coach Bentley. Again, like I said, I'm Tate Mendoza filling in for Clint this week. He's out traveling for work and couldn't make it back. Glad to be here, Coach.
Yeah, glad to have you. I enjoyed the last time you were able to be here, and of course we miss Clint when he's not here. He's done a really good job over several years, and again, I just appreciate all the sponsors and the people that watch this show. You know, I think most of those clicks are like my dad, just watching it over and over. But hey, you know, I know people get interested in it and want to hear about Bearcat football, and it's exciting the support the kids get every week.
Right. Well, I was going to say, keep going back to Reed, but I said, hey, did the coach show Craig need to watch it? And he kind of passes along, hey, does his administration watch this? This is something we need to look into.
For sure.
I know Brad's kind of done the same thing. Brad's at Southside. So I think it's a neat aspect that a lot of schools don't do, but we're doing. It's kind of a different deal that we can offer for the community for sure.
Yeah, it's a good insight into the program. Like I said, anything we do that can highlight our kids in our program is special. And say it all the time, but it's not like that everywhere. Mena's a special place, and not just for football, but they care about their athletics, their schools, and everything else. And so thankful for the opportunity, and it's nice to be a trendsetter in that situation.
Exactly.
With the show like this.
Yeah, so I think there's a lot, like I said, a lot going on here that are good things for the kids. Well, last week, Coach, we had Arkadelphia come to town, and Arkadelphia speaks for itself. I think would they have about 5 out of the last 10 state titles there for a little while?
Yeah, I mean, they
4 or
won
5
several in a row, and I mean, very successful program, and for us, we were disappointed in that margin of victory at the end of the night. We felt like we would be a little bit closer than that. Of course, that's how the game goes sometimes, and it was for us it was a symbolic game. Last year, very young team. We're still young this year, but last year was a very young team for us, and we felt like that was the one game that we didn't really compete in. We felt like we got run off the field pretty early in that, and then we kind of accepted it. And we had to have some really hard conversations and practices and things like that after that. And I thought that really helped push us over the edge and get us a lot more competitive last year. So coming into this year, it was important that that we didn't have a repeat of last year. And despite the score, and again, I know the total differential. I think if you watched that game, you paid attention, you saw some good things that were there on both sides of the ball. Of course, a lot of things to work and fix too. But it wasn't a situation where we weren't competitive in a lot of different areas. So again, in a game like that, you take the good, you take the bad, you learn from it, and you move on and do it there. So Arkadelphia is a really good football team. Going to probably finish the top 2 of our conference, and then definitely going to have some success in the playoffs. And so, playing a team like that, you see where you're at, you see what you need to work on, you see where you need to get to.
I would agree. Score, I didn't think was conducive for the effort we put out. The points I kind of took away, I called the game on the live stream with Anthony this week. And the thing that we came out, went 3 and out, but when we forced a 3 and out, or they even go for it on 4th down.
Yeah.
So you kind of started the game pretty decent, I felt like. But then on offense, we just couldn't really, hit on any cylinders. But what I was going to say was defensively, when you see the score of what it was, you think, man, the defense really struggled. I don't think that's the case. I think the defense played pretty well in the first half. They were put with their backs against the wall with short field for the first 5 possessions, I felt like. I think Arkadelphia had about 30, 35 yards to go to get those first 4 touchdowns. And when you look at the score, like I said, being as wide as it was on the margin, you kind of, like I said, you go back and think, well, the defense struggled. I don't think that was the case. I think the defense really battled the entire game, especially in the first half. That when you give a team like Arkadelphia a short field, they've got the athletes to get 30, 40 yards.
For sure, and you hit it right on the head. I mean, if you watch that game, if you look at the score, it's easy to just take away that score and see what it is. But if you actually watch that game, you hit everything exactly on the head. Offensively, we had spurts of success. we were able to move the ball in some certain situations and get them in a situation lined up schematically, defensively that they weren't quite ready for. But we couldn't string it together consistently. And again, like you said, defensively, I thought overall we played pretty good. It's hard to cover 30 yards consistently. But all the way even through the third quarter, which we'll see in some of the highlights in the video, we onside kick it right out of half. We don't get it, but defense holds them to a field goal. So another short field situation. Defense holds them to a field goal, and then right after that we get a turnover. So again, still battling, still fighting. Kids showed a lot of fight. Kids showed a lot of heart, and again, something we could definitely take away from going into the big game next week. So.
Sure, I would agree. I think the first half touchdown, I wanted to kind of mention this because I think it's important to mention young guys that are having some success. Was that Geis's first touchdown of the year?
Yes, I believe so. Yeah, first touchdown of his. I kind of kidded with him today, actually, in practice. I said, he made a nice catch in receiver drill. I said, you think you're a big-time receiver, now you got to catch some. But Geis Anderson is, man, he's been outstanding for us on defense all year. He's a sophomore, great frame, outstanding worker, hard worker. Really had a good offseason, strong kid, legitimately strong kid, only going to get stronger. And he's really, really come a long ways in the last year, and again, has been a starter for us on defense all year, and he's cracked that rotation on offense more and more, and done a good job, and had a couple catches in this game. So really proud for him, but he's earned it. He works hard and does a really good job.
Yeah, I was proud of Geis. I thought he had a heck of a game defensively, then obviously the catch on offense. He's a kid, when you're doing the live stream and you're trying to watch the entirety of what's going on, it's hard to pinpoint one guy, but I felt like he even blocked well most of the night for you. Yeah. Geis is one of those kids that he's in that sophomore class that I'm pretty familiar with, and he's just one of those hard-working kids that's always going to give his best effort, basically every play for you. So it was fun to see him get that.
Very physical kid too. So
and a kid that's going to be big for you, for the next 2-3 years.
Yeah,
too.
for sure. And that's the thing too. I probably spoke a little bit more about how more experienced we are, and we are, because we have a lot of juniors who started last year, but we're still young in a lot of areas. Both our outside backers are sophomores, our center and our quarterback are sophomores, and we have a starting safety who's a sophomore, so on and so forth. So we're a younger veteran team, I guess you could say. I mean, that's kind of cliche, but we're coming along, and that means that every game and every week we should be seeing some improvement and getting better, and I think we are seeing that. Right. I think we're a different team each week, and we're showing some progress there, so I'm excited about that.
That was definitely a note I had too, was still sophomores out there, quite a few on defense when you think about it, basically 4 to 5 most of the game. I think 3 pretty much start, but you got Max who comes in and plays pretty much 75% of the game, I think, on defense.
Hunter
McClare starting to get quite a bit of play time last 2 weeks.
Ryder House will jump in there and play a little bit too. So
yes, I mean, you're still talking, Coach, half your defense is basically sophomores. Yeah. So and they're growing pains with that, but
and a lot of that, and we talked, if you watched this show at all last year, I mean, a lot of it is you can practice it, you can try to show it to them on film, you can try to talk to them about it, but you don't learn a lesson until it's Friday night. You get out there, and that's when you truly learn that lesson. Friday nights.
So, well, let's get into a few of these first half plays.
Yeah. So you did a great recap of the game. I mean, we come out right out of the gate and couldn't string together the first offensive series. Put them in great field position. Had a good punt return on the first punt, and really proud of our defense stepping up. 4th down against a really good football team, and this is the 3rd down that gets it to the 4th. But good pursuit out of our guys. We see a lot of black jerseys there. We're getting down the line. A lot of people battling, and good job by Jackson Baber getting off blocks and stepping up as a senior and making a big tackle there. And again, another sophomore. They got a sophomore right there at the end, coming over to lay that lick there at the end to get him out of bounds. Jimmy Glenn there, 44. So good job there, and putting them in a tough situation there in a 4th down, which we're about to see right here. So 4th down, first possession of the game, 0-0. They're going to go for it obviously right here. Really, really proud of our defense, and I thought this is great growth. There's guys actually right there getting a quick hurry up. So guys with a great rush, beating his blocker, the running back right there too. And we got to finish that tackle in the backfield a little sooner. But we come up, make a big stop, and get the ball back there. Get pretty excited. I love seeing the excitement of everybody from coaches, you see our senior manager down there, Brady Montgomery, who played with these guys for a lot of years, but medically he's not able to play, but he loves helping us out on Friday nights, and we love having him there, and he does a great job. So
It's a huge player out there.
he's just as much. But yeah, we get out there, we get the ball back, they get a penalty, and then we're able to come out and get that ball back. So just another good defensive play. I tried to throw in a little bit of offense defense, but this was another third down situation. Now, our third down defense was really good. That's something Coach Arnold's put a lot of emphasis on with the defense. The last few weeks has been third downs. Now, unfortunately, we got them in fourth down situations. We stopped them on that first drive, but they did convert several fourth downs. So, but the fact that we were able to get them into that fourth down situation is a good sign for us. And now we just have to focus our attention to, okay, we got them in that fourth down. Now let's get them off the field. So, in better field position, like we talked about, that may be a punt, but when they're down there close to our end of the field, that's going to be a four down territory there. But again, a good job there by that runner. That quarterback was a senior. He's jumped in there and done a really good job for them. And he's a tough runner. And like seeing Isaiah Day get off his block there. Like I said, Maddox Medlin's a senior who's battling and fighting there at nose and does a really good job of getting him up. And then Sean Sullivan, Brody Peters, those guys getting in there. Again, giving a good look there to get us in a fourth down situation.
And that was, kind of the same thing. I mean, when they're running so many plays from the 50 going in high school football, that's always going to be four down situations, I would figure. For sure.
For the most part, it will be. And like I said, if we're, or like you were talking about earlier, if you're giving them a longer field position, yeah, then you're good. You're putting them in a punt situation. So I was really proud of our defense for holding strong and making them earn everything. If you're making them go four downs to get a first down, that means that's four different times you've been physical with them, you've hit them. That means they're not getting their first downs on big plays. And so that was a big thing for us too. Last year it was kind of big play after big play after big play. And this year I felt like everything they got, they had to earn. So proud of our progress as far as that goes.
I don't know if there were any really big plays in the first half.
No, just a couple here and there, medium plays right there. But a good screen, good play call here from an aggressive defense, and Dax does a good job stepping back and delivering this ball just right over those rushers. And good job by our offensive line, getting a good block. Brody Peters with a catch and a great run at the end, and just some good vision there, cutting that back on the pursuing defense and putting us in great field position to go down there and score. So good football play, good play call here. And
a great time for the call.
Yeah, and again, that was third down, so it's third down and 9, and we're probably in four down territory there. But good job by Dax, because again, he's going to get hit. Of course, they throw a penalty on that too, so we're able to get that. But we don't get that penalty if he runs out of there, and plus if he's run out. So very next play again, play action pass over there to Geis, and just really good job by him of weaving through the defense and weaving through the linebackers and getting open. A good job by Mike Sullivan, who carries the ball hard for us. And this play doesn't work if he doesn't do a good job selling that run. So good job by him. And Dax does a good job of stepping in there again with a little bit of pressure off that edge, off the play action for a good passing catch there.
And nothing more exciting than your first touchdown in senior high football, especially for a sophomore.
Yeah, for sure. Super excited for him. Like I said, he's cracked that rotation a little bit more and done a good job. Nice little draw play here. Set up pretty good by the offensive line, and they've done a good job here. Again, that's a pretty football play, a good wrap over there, and a good hard run here by Michael on a third down. So we had a lot of incidents like this, where maybe it was a play or two where we start to make some progress and go. We had a few misconnections in the pass game. I thought our pass pro was pretty good all night. Unfortunately, Carter Cossey, our left tackle, got a little banged up and was out all the second half. And I thought the offensive line did a good job filling in there. And I thought our pass pro was pretty good all night. We had just some miscommunication and timing errors in the pass game, but I was excited to see plays like this pop up, and this was a play we put in this week and got us a big first down there right before half. And it's 27-7 right here, and like you said, we.
I think at this point, if I remember, I'm sorry, Coach.
Yeah, you're good.
I think they had less than 100 yards of offense at this point.
Yeah,
The score's 27
it's just
to
words,
7.
and even into that, you sit there and you go, right before half, we had a big time play that just about went pop. It was a screen play. It was called good again, and unfortunately, we just weren't able to get the blocks out of it. And man, if we go there, I think that play scores. If you go back and watch it on film, we're right there. And then you're talking about a 27-14 ball game right at half.
If I remember right, it was
And,
one man that made the tackle. Those last
one
couple
man
beat,
that made the
wasn't it?
tackle. There wasn't anybody else around Randall Horton Field. So,
Yeah.
but that's football. That's how it is. That Arkadelphia made the play. We missed the play, but when you reflect, have to look at the bigger scope of things. And when you look at a play like that, that's a lot better than saying, we weren't even in position to do anything. Like I said, we've been there before. So when you look at that and you go, God, we're one block away from making it a 2-possession ball game, 27-14 at half against a really good football team. We're right there. But again, we weren't, and that's just the way it is. A good stop here, right here down by the goal line. Again, a good job pursuing to the football and keeping them out there right before that.
So we went into half 27 to 7,
Mm-hmm.
and we got a kick to them to start the second half. And again, defense plays pretty well. I want to say it was a decent kick return for Arkadelphia to give them pretty good field position start.
Right. And this is what this is. I got a little confused. I'm looking at the quarter, but the quarter's wrong on the scoreboard down there. So this what we're watching now is that first possession for them right out of the half. Yes, we onside kick it.
There we go.
They recovered it, and this is their first drive. So they get it down there a little bit. It's 27-7. That's a time when the air can be let out a little bit. You're down by 3 possessions. You don't get your onside kick. They're driving down on you a little bit. Really, really proud of the defense right here. Bowing their back. We call it build the house. We want to protect our house, build the house, and they did that right there. They get 3 plays, and we hold them to a field goal. That was a huge, huge victory for our defense. And again, just seeing how hard they play and how fast they're flying to the football and getting the ball out there.
Good pursuit there, I felt like.
Again, a big third down play right here for them, and a good runner. And Brody Peters doing a great job fitting and filling this, and then one of those sophomores as well, Hunter McClara, right there as well, joining in with him. And big stop there. Again, right out of the half, it's 30-7, and then right after that, again, we falter out on offense. We're not able to really spring anything together offensively. Again, another chance for the air to be deflated, right? Because defense just had a big stop, forced a field goal. Offense should be, ready to go, but for whatever reason, it's just a night like it was. We weren't able to put it together, so now it's 30-7. Do you lay down? Do you whatever? Our kids didn't do that. And just like a play like this is a good play by Arkadelphia. They get some good yardage out of it, but that's why you play all the way to the very end. Jair Hernandez comes up, gets a good strip on the ball, and Luke Floyd is able to fall right on there. Luke's a kid, senior who's played a lot of football for us. Plays some center for us. He plays on the offensive line. He's cracked that defensive line rotation a little bit. So really proud of a senior like Luke to be able to get that opportunity to get on that football there. And we're going to go compete. It's 37 right there, and we're just really excited about this. This was a little new look for us this week. Putting Mike back there at quarterback and with Brody and letting them kind of do a little power run game action. So we still got some wrinkles to work out in it. And we have some things we want to do, but this is something you can expect to see a little bit more of from us going forward too, just as a kind of change of pace on offense.
Yeah, I thought that personnel group worked really well.
Yeah, and again, it's not going to be like this every week because now we've shown it, and
sure.
Teams are going to be ready for it. But Arkadelphia wasn't quite ready for it alignment wise, and everybody did a good job blocking, and Mike did a really good job. It was a successful set of plays for us. Down there.
And that's one of those, I think, Coach, where you got 2 kids that run the ball as hard as Brody and Mike. I mean, yeah, it's been seen on film now, but I still feel like that's one of those that you can still have confidence in when you're dependent on 2 kids to run the ball as hard as they do.
For sure. And it's again, we called them Thunder, and they're good hard runners, and we will continue to build off of that package, do a lot of different things out of it, and get more people involved. But yeah, we're lucky to have 2 hard runners like that. with Mike and Brody, and it's exciting to see what they do when they get the ball in their hands. A good job right here. Just again, if you kind of watch the game at the end, you saw we put a lot of emphasis on our secondary players to, we've talked a little bit about it, but our secondary, one of our weaknesses, I guess, is our height. We're not very tall back there overall. So what we have to do is we can't jump up and try to fight 50-50 balls with kids. We have to be physical. We have to be aggressive, and we have to make them pay if they're going to go up for a ball. And we did that earlier with Haid, and he got a penalty called on him, and I understand why that was called, but. At the same time, it wasn't a dirty play. It wasn't anything like that.
Was that the one in the end zone?
Yeah, and he got flipped up on him, and he did what he was coached to do. If you go up, battle through it, be physical. Don't do anything dirty. We don't want anybody to get hurt.
I didn't feel like it was malicious. I felt like that's Haid, who's 5'6", 5'7",
Well,
and a guy that's 6'4".
Exactly, and that was kind of our thing. Well, what do you want him to do? Just let him catch it, and so I was proud of that. But right here is another good example of that physical play and coming down to break up on a football, and I love seeing that, man. And again, the score is 30-7, right? We really still haven't been able to string anything together offensively, so it's harder and harder to not let the air out of the cells and everything there. But Caleb Cox is still doing a great job, playing really, really hard. And if you don't care, and if you're not playing hard, you don't make a good stick like this. So really, really nice physical football play on their best player. Number 3 is their best player. And, he respects you a little bit when he gets up, gives you that head tap. And
also says a lot about him. I didn't realize, I remember the play, remember Caleb getting to him pretty good, but kid popped right back up.
Yeah, he got up, and you could tell 3 was breathing a little bit slower, and you could tell Caleb, he's proud of that hit, but that hurt him. That's going to hurt a little bit too. It doesn't you don't just take that hit and not feel it, and everything. So
it was definitely a big time, Friday night collision.
But again, overall, again, we're disappointed. It's never, like I told kids, we're never going to take a moral victory, and we're not in that position this year to do that. To just say, okay, that was a good job competing, guys. No, that we're not looking for that. And of course, the margin of victory is not acceptable. But as you look at the bigger picture, you look at what was done right. You look at what did we do to put ourselves in situations when things didn't go right, and can we grow from that? And I think we can do that. And I was proud of the resolve and the fight our kids showed, especially through the first 3 quarters. Fourth quarter it gets a little out of hand. They start subbing, we start subbing. We get guys in there some playing time and whatnot. But I'm proud of where we were, and I'm really excited to go into this next week's game, and really the biggest game of any of our kids' careers, Bearcats.
Right. Well, let's go ahead and talk about that a little bit. Big week against Nashville. Have the benefit of having nephew on the team. We were working out Monday evening, and he said 95 was the last time I think we beat them.
Yeah, 95.
And I made the comment, Coach, I was like, gosh, Trip, I don't know that Mena's probably less than 5 times we've ever beat Nashville in the history of the school, I figured.
Yeah, and I don't know what that full record is, but yeah, I do know that the last time Mena beat Nashville was in 1995. And, our kids are going to have an opportunity, to do something special. And we talk about it a lot, that anytime you're in a position to do something that hasn't been done very much or very often, it's a pretty cool opportunity. Nashville's a really good football team, really, really well coached. They're kind of similar to us in build. They're young. They have a sophomore quarterback as well. They have a couple of experienced seniors. The running back's a senior. He's a really, really explosive football player. So they're a good football team. But we feel like, this is a big game for both teams, for playoff implications, for seeding, for things down the road. So really excited we get to do that at home. And again, the opportunity doesn't present itself very often where you get a big game of 2 pretty comparable football teams. We feel like that has some big implications with it.
I had that note too. It's a big game for both teams as far as, there's a huge difference in that 3, 4, 5 seed. If you're the 5 or the 4, you're probably playing somebody's 1 or 2. So if you're able to find your way in that 3, well, then all of a sudden you're playing somebody's 3 or maybe a 2. So it's a big game, I think, for Nashville and for Mena.
Well, and this year the 3 host a playoff game. So
that's even a bigger deal.
The 3 will host a playoff game, and the 4 and 5, 4 or 5, they're probably traveling
Probably
a good ways.
Northeast Arkansas,
Yeah, that's who you're matched up. You're talking Gosnell or Blytheville or Jonesboro West Side or I'm leaving somebody out in that area, but
right.
you're talking about Northeast Arkansas and traveling. So big game. And again, honestly, our our number one team goal, and this is at the end of the year last year, I asked all our players to list, hey, what's our biggest team goal, and almost 90% of them wrote they want to finish in the top half of the conference, 1, 2, 3, somewhere in there. And that's been our goal. And in order for us to do this, it's no time to talk about it anymore. This game right here will go a long way towards that goal. And our kids know that. They understand the importance of the game. It's put up or shut up time. The talking about the goal and what it means. That time is now. And so Friday night, makes or breaks that goal that we set months ago. So
yeah. We're
excited about it, and we've had a good week of practice, and we feel like the kids will be prepared. We're excited to watch them play.
Yeah, I mean, the entire season's tough, but let's be honest, this 3-week stretch we're on right here is about as tough as it gets.
No doubt.
You go Arkadelphia, Nashville, Malvern, and in the back of your mind, I would assume find a way to get one of them, and then figure out the other two. Mm-hmm. So one's already gone. Now here's an opportunity for one that I think that I circled all along. Hey, let's get that win against Nashville, and we'll figure it out against Malvern.
Yeah.
And this is a tough 3-game stretch.
Yeah, definitely one of the toughest. I challenge anybody to go find a 3-game stretch tougher than what we're about to face.
Not in 4A football, you're not going to find it.
We've talked about it. All 3 of these teams were in the Final Four of the 4A playoffs last year. You had Malvern, of course, was the state champion, but Arkadelphia was a semifinalist, and so was Nashville. So great respect for those programs and those coaches and those kids. And we saw Nashville 7-on-7. They got us in a 7-on-7 game earlier this year. But I was proud of our kids in that aspect too. Again, when you haven't beaten somebody in a really, really long time, I think you run the risk of feeling like you can never beat them. And I don't feel like that's where our kids are at. They're not arrogant. They're not cocky. They understand and know what they're going to have to do to win. But they're not worried about, hey, there's no way we can get this done. I think our kids' mindsets are where they need to be. They're confident. They're ready to go play.
And not that these kids aren't smart enough to figure it out and listen to the history, but it might help a little bit. When we were in school, we played national every year. Year after year after year. Well, this sophomore and junior class and senior class, they bounced up to that 4-4A for a little while where we didn't see Nashville. So the consistency of, maybe losing to those guys isn't as fresh on this group's mind as what it might have been back when, like I said, you and I were in school.
Right, yes, exactly. So it's not a year-to-year thing. It's, talk about like the us and Walter game. We've played almost year-to-year every year, but 2 or 3 years. The Nashville thing, like you said, that's a great point. I mean, you're not seeing them every year. That you may go 3 or 4 or 5 years without ever seeing them. But it's been a consistent, matchup over the years, and it's definitely not lost on us that, again, we have a chance to do something special that hadn't been done in a long, long time. But not going to be easy.
And a chance to do it at home.
Chance to do it at home, and we're honoring the 1983 Bearcat football team that was conference champions. They'll be there. We'll honor them before the game, and so excited for that crew to come over there. And
Clint's not that old, is he?
No, I think he's early 90s, maybe late 80s, early 90s. He's a young guy, young and spry. Yeah. But anyway, it'd be a great night of football Friday night as always.
Good. Well, I think we've kind of covered everything here for last week and this week. Big week for the Bearcats, obviously, here Friday night at Bearcat Stadium. If you can, get out and support them. The weather's going to be great. Get through this rain early, midweek here, and then I think the highs are in the 70s on Friday night. So nice. It's going to feel like fall football. And like I said, those orange and black uniforms coming up here, it'd be nice to get to them one time. So again, had a good time here filling in for Clint, and look forward to seeing everybody Friday night.